Oh, wait. That's the clean version. Because I heard all the pros do that. It takes like 15 minutes to even open up and 15 minutes to export every time. So every time I was doing a mix and I heard one little change, it would be such a commitment. At least when it was open, I tended to get a lot of my work done as much as I could. We come out the gate swinging. You know, I didn't want to waste any time. I was thinking about doing an introduction, but I was like, no, let's just start with new. Yeah. I got the drums just supporting that. Yep. Who's saying that? It's the parents, right? The parents, oh, don't they grow up so fast? So I threw in a little bit of gang vocals there, just so I'm not the only one saying that. Don't they grow up so fast? But they're tucked in, they're subtle. That's like, that's subconscious shit. Talking about a new song, funny but so here we switch from that eighth note feel to the quarter note feel. So it's slower, but it's also hitting a little harder. So it's like, ah, okay. I was quite proud of that. Oh, let's check out that. These helping people. the background vocals. Oh, it's like a sigh, right? Oh. Young and on my way. My so-called prime, and I'm spending it all. Never getting bigger. Up and up and up. The chorus first comes in at 1 minute and 44 seconds, which is a really fucking long time. This is like a quite delayed chorus, because it wasn't really the typical song structure of like A section, pre-chorus, chorus. It's more like A section, pre-chorus, pre-chorus, chorus. We get the piano a little bit more desperate. Something's happening. And then the bass starts climbing up higher and higher as well. And that climbing thing, the bass climbing up and up on the fretboard, I stole that directly from Rocket Man. Actually, I stole quite a lot of things from Rocket Man. Rocket Man was one of the biggest influences on this track, I would say, as far as just like the build-up, because Rocket Man really had that like inevitable chorus feeling that I really liked about it, and also like the huge amount of space, no pun intended. Here's one other thing I stole from Rocket Man. If some of you might have picked up on this. That is my favorite thing in the whole track, I would say. And they're helping out the slide guitar. Everything is just basically going up. And if I remove that from this pre-chorus, take a listen to how the energy changes. There we go. It's clearly what I needed. There's quite a lot of shit going on. Let's take a listen to the piano. It wasn't actually supposed to be the final take. I kind of played that in, I was like, that's alright, and I like quantized it a little too much. And it was like going to be a placeholder as I put in other things. But then I added all the other instruments, and you just didn't make a difference. It wasn't even worth changing at that point. It was already doing its job. Because that's something I noticed, is that like when we're working on the songs as musicians, we're like, oh, every part's got to be perfect. But the audience is not hearing individual instruments; they're hearing the whole song. And you know, if you could take a step back and try and listen to the whole song, you realize a lot of the times you don't need to fix a lot of the things you thought need fixing.
B-roll, B-roll, this counts as B-roll.
Alright. Where were we? Piano. The bass line. And now, originally, it didn't have that slide, the bass slide. It just went boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba, which is fine. It did the trick, but every time you have a bass slide, is one of my favorite things. Like boom. It just makes it hit that much harder once it lands, because we kind of subconsciously rely on the bass line to tell us, you know, what the fuck is going on, what the root note of the chord is. And as soon as it's just not hitting notes, as soon as it's in the middle of a slide, you're basically suspending everybody in midair for a second. And then if you do that, when you land back on a very sure note, such as this low F, it's very certain that you've just landed. Bring out the ride cymbal, which is the first time, because the entire thing before that's been hi-hat bass, very punchy, but now it's just, you know, wide open. Another thing that helps really fill it in is something that you don't actually hear at all, and it's the strings. Have a listen. Originally, I was like, oh, they're so lush and beautiful. Make them loud, but make it have space in the mix. But then I was listening back, and the more I turned it down, the better the rest of the mix got. So I was like, okay, it doesn't matter if it's beautiful. Like I was saying before, that's kind of not the point. The point of these strings is not to be the forefront. That's the job of the piano and the drums and the vocals. These strings here should be just filling in the cracks. But still, if you remove it, it kind of feels a little empty, a little hollow. Another thing filling in the space, we have a lot of things filling the space, is the acoustic guitar. I didn't actually play that in, I cheated a little bit, if there's such thing as cheating in music. I just put it through a VST instrument. But that's just kind of adding some high transients, and that shimmer kind of just helps the whole thing feel kind of airy and light. We have the slide guitar that just like once we arrive, like, it's like a celebration. Woo! And that is joined by our reverb guitar. It's just and quite possibly one of the most important things of this entire course, a fucking secret weapon, is the white noise down filter. You've heard this in every single song. Every single pop song ever has this, and you'll know exactly why when I play you the chorus without it. Alright, first let's play the chorus normal. Take that away. It's missing all this stuff on the high end. It kind of just feels like it hits in the middle. Like, once again, without. Now with. Uncomparable. There's a certain soaring quality, I guess you could say, to this chorus. And that is entirely the fault of my friend Katya, who played saxophone on this. Woo! Now, she plays tenor sax. So, because I hit her up, I was like, could you play this line? And I had it in with the fake sax I had, which I thought sounded okay until I heard how good these ones are. But I was like, yo, can you play this high note? She's like, no. Play the absolute highest note you can, doesn't matter if it's on key or not. She actually ended up playing something that sort of sounded good, but then I just pitched it up from there, and it ended up working perfectly well. And Katya makes a reappearance later in this chorus. That's gonna make this song a song. Whale. Pulling shit out of it. Because you gotta make it different. I was like, yeah, no, that's a good idea. A little Freddy moment. Let's just do it like big, and then it goes. Fuck, how do I end this song?